right, traders, welcome back to the next quiz. What are we on, number 6? Oh my gosh. You guys are getting really smart now after 6 quizzes. Quiz-I. I'm going to say Quiz-I instead. That's my own invention. Okay, so let's do this one here. Right there. Again, we're doing it on the hard right edge of the screen. And actually I had a one of our subscribers say, hey, could you do some of these quizzes on the hard right edge of the screen instead of showing us the future? So this is in response to that request. I thought that was a good request. So what we got is, let's see, hopefully you can see the two. I've got the global crosshairs on there, so hopefully you can see both vertical lines on there. Once again, we're just sticking with Apple here. It doesn't really matter. I'll bring up another chart on the next quiz, I guess, just for variety's sake. But yeah, go ahead, pause the video. You've heard the spiel now, and come back when you're ready. Write down all the pluses and minuses, if you would take the trade, blah, blah, blah. All right, over and out. All right, welcome back, Top Dog Trading Nation. All right, so here's my analysis of this. Number one, it is a first retrace in the trend, right? Okay, but there are some pluses and minuses here, so let's look at them. It's holding the 15 EMA. We've got a green bar there, all right, for what that's worth. As we look down at our stochastic, we do have a double bottom. That is one of our second chance patterns, is a double bottom. It's not a mini divergence. It's a double bottom. All right, and that is a second chance pattern, so that is good. What's bad is that it didn't get down to 20. So based on Foundations courses 1 and 2, that alone would eliminate the trade for you, by the way. So just to be very clear. So if you mention that in your analysis, then you are 100% correct. Now, if you've gone on and you've taken the Top Dog Trading Advanced course, then you know that we do have exceptions to that rule. So, you know, when you learn the advanced course, obviously you're learning some advanced stuff. And we do allow certain situations where K doesn't have to get down to 20 and you can still take the trade. Right? We can't get into all of that right now, but obviously that will give you more trades. But anyway, going on further from here for the advanced trader. So if you're just a Foundations course trader, then nope, you're not going to take this trade. If you're an advanced trader, Top Dog Trading trader, advanced Top Dog Trading trader, there we go, then yes, it's still possible because on the longer term chart, K and D are up and MOM is up. All right, what else do we have going for us or against us over here? I'm going to see, yeah, well, you know what, I'm going to go forward and then I'll come back because of the global crosshair issue. All right, so it does go up, gets a nice little pop there, puts in a wave 3, and then she comes back on down. Down. Okay, get down below the 5th. Well, actually, it's just still holding the 15 EMA based on the Top Dog Trading method. That's the fly paper phenomena right there. It never breaks down below it based on the way we now analyze it. And we don't break below, here's what I want to point out, we don't break below the low of wave 2. So if you took that trade, you could still be in. However, could you enter here? The answer is no. K crosses above D and all that kind of stuff. Now it does get below the 20 line, but KD MOM are angling down on the long-term chart, so we still can't take that. Now here is a better one, right? Because we've got our mini divergence pattern, and MOM is also angling up on the short-term chart. So we got KD MOM angling up. Again, MOM doesn't have to be angling up on the shorter-term chart, but it does add to the probability of the trade. So if you want to take fewer better trades, that's a rule you can add to be more conservative. Now, when we look over at the long-term chart, the weekly chart, though, K is angling up, and K and D are in the middle of the range, but the problem is K is angling up and D is angling down. K is the faster, more leading indicator, so it's faster and therefore potentially leading, but it's also not as accurate. That's the trade-off with so-called leading indicators, is that they're potentially leading, and because of their faster nature, they are not as accurate. So D is more accurate, it's angling down, K is angling up. Those two are fighting against each other. bottom line, mom's angling down. Therefore, that keeps us out of the trade. Now, look at this. So, okay, we can't take that trade, and that's a second retrace in the trend. And then what happens? It goes up. It puts on a wave 5. So now you'd say, in retrospect, well, God darn it, you know, the rules kept me out of this trade, and I could have made a lot of money. So again, I'm not going to repeat this. I'm going to rant about this again. You've heard me say it enough times. All kinds of stuff happens at any one given time. Doesn't mean it was in fact, it was not a high probability trade based on top dog trading. And therefore, you should not have taken the trade because it worked this time, but the next 10 times it won't, or whatever. Okay, the other thing that I didn't like about this was that and actually, well, that kind of gets dissipated. So we have a rule that we don't get in a first retrace after a parabolic move. That's a parabolic move, right? That's a very strong move. So, and we didn't. So that goes away, and I just want to point that out. So once we get over to here, it's had enough time to absorb that price, that high price, where you actually, that rule would no longer apply. That's why we say the first cycle low after a parabolic move is we don't take it. Well, yeah, I mean, it came back down here, and this one did not go down, but it absorbed the high prices enough where enough people were comfortable with these high prices, and then finally decided, okay, we'll add to this. So how do we explain the fact that mom didn't angle up to get us in the trade? It's actually pretty simple. If you look over here at the weekly chart, it's just mathematics. And on the weekly chart, we get that parabolic move as well. And so mom, it's just the way it calculates. It's, you know, well, what's happening is, let's see if I can explain this well without getting too technical with the mathematics of it. So as this is moving up, we get wider and wider range bars here. And whoops, I covered it up. So let me see, hopefully you can see my pointer here. It's easier. I don't want to cover anything. So what's happening is you get higher highs on each bar. You don't get lower lows on each bar. And then you got wide range bars, and then you get more narrow range bars. And so this is creating this, because you got to understand the move, MACD is just a moving average convergence divergence. So it's really just measuring the difference between two moving averages, a short term and a fast term. And we have changed that so that the short term one is really short. In fact, especially on when you get a weekly chart, then well, I'll show you on the next video, but we've changed it so it's really fast, so that its response is faster. So when these bars start getting more narrow range, and we stop putting in a higher high here, and you get a doji here, and all that kind of stuff, then the moving averages start to converge. The fast one slows down. And it's part of it is that it's in relation to the most recent number of bars. So in other words, when you get a real strong move up and then things start just kind of stop moving up with such aggression, then that fast term moving average is going to come back down in relation, even if it's going up in relation to the long term, it's not going to go up as fast, and that causes the difference, which is what this line is measuring, to go down. So I don't know if you understand all of that or not, but anyway, that's the mathematics of it. And that's why it does it. Now, and that's another reason why here we actually have a parabolic move. We're still in a parabolic move up when this all occurs on the longer term chart. So all of that said and done, the philosophy of it, let's see if we can come over here. There we go. The philosophy of trading, the top dog trading method, is to say, okay, we want to trade when the energy is really strong in our direction. We want to, I've come up with the term, hook your wagon to the whales. So you take your money, you put in your little red wagon, and you tie the other end, well, you tie a rope to the wagon handle, and you tie the other end to a whale, meaning the big players, and let it fly. Okay. So what's happened here, see, that philosophy is not really working out here because we are getting so much consolidation in this. What's happened is it's gone up, gone down, gone up, and see, now all of a sudden it's not moving up with any aggression anymore. And so this becomes more of an unknown as to whether the market's going to continue up. And measured mathematically, it's not. It's not. And that's why it doesn't register. So don't worry about it. So what? What you do now to psychologically overcome the concern of the fear of loss or the trader's regret, as we've talked about earlier, is you take that same money that you would have put into that trade and you go find another high probability trade and you put your money there so that you don't have a opportunity lost, in other words. Because here you didn't lose money, it was just a lost opportunity in your mind. You think it was. It wasn't really, not with regard to probabilities. But to overcome that that emotional barrier of opportunity lost, you just take your money and put it into a higher probability trade in another market, different time frame, different whatever, and then you make some money that you make some money anyway. So that's how I deal with that psychologically.